Yeah, she'd have
arms.
she'd have
Dude,
the
can I-
TN shoulders.
Dude, can I say, like, one of my favorite things in, like, the Young Justice cartoon is, like, how the female characters got, like, muscles. Like, if you look at
It's a
Wonder
beautiful
Girl in
thing.
Young Justice, she's just got, like, crazy arm muscles.
It's an amazing thing.
It's
It's one
pretty
reason
cool.
why I love.
Muscly women
Did
are
we get
sexy.
the on-air thing?
Oh, yeah, we're on there. Hi,
It-
everyone. We're
it's-
talking about sexy, muscly women.
And it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a sexy thing. What I like is that there's a lot of body types. It's like if you notice, for instance, DC superhero girls, they all got like different personalities and different like shapes to them, and like you can tell clearly that like Kara, who's Supergirl, like just has like really powerful shoulders.
I'm wondering
You
if the
immediately
mic
go,
picked up,
yes, that is the jock friend.
wondering if the mic picked up me drinking my coffee.
I hope not.
I hope not too.
But yeah,
Gross out.
you're right though. It's
But yeah.
one of my
goals.
one of my goals as an artist is to draw characters like sort of like Frank Cho. Frank Cho draws women, which is just like he's got it down to like a science where if you've ever seen did I ever tell you about this before? Like Frank Cho just is really really good at drawing like really fit women.
Nah, did we do the intro? I don't think we did the intro.
I don't think we did. Sorry everyone. I'm Taylor.
I'm Lujak.
And we're talking about muscly women
muscly
and Ace Attorney
Yeah.
at law.
And I'm drinking coffee. Dude, you know what's my jam? You know what's my jam? You know what's my jam?
That Far Cry though.
That Far Cry though!
That Far
Oh,
Cry though.
That's my
That
shit!
Far Cry though. We were just watching.
We just went.
I just introduced Lou Jack to Key and Peele's valet skit.
Which was after I had introduced
It's-
Taylor to Sammy J and Randy's Backbenchers skit.
the
And they go
backbenchers, which are like
really
two
well together.
parliamentary guys in the parliament who just
It's
sit
kind of
around.
like the valets,
and
but like as backbenchers.
it's pretty much like that's it's similar in a way, but it's different. It's similar, but it's got that vibe to it.
Yeah, it's got the same kind of vibe.
But yeah, I was introducing my associate Lou Jack here to Key and Peele, specifically their valet skits, where it's Key and Peele in the valet uniforms, and they're out in front of a like a hotel, and they're just geeking out about stuff. Like that's friend goals right there.
Yeah, right.
I want to be when I geek out with someone, it's gotta be where like I walk off camera, and he reels me back in.
Yeah.
I just love that guy.
How you gonna mess with the Batmans?
How you gonna mess
How
with
you
the
gonna mess
Batman?
with the Batmans? What's
You
free?
thi-
What's Freeze gonna do? Oh,
You think you
give
could
him a
just
cold,
turn down the
sniffles?
AC and it'll mess with the Batmans?
Give him a cold, give him a little sniffles. Ah, bat lozenge.
Bat lozenge defeated.
Defeated.
So when we
Oh,
left
great.
off last on Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, we had a few like visions of Gumshoe.
Yeah.
We've had like these little like apparitions of Gumshoe where it's like, here's a ladder, Gumshoe, and I'm like, but why though? Does he like leave
The letter didn't make
footprints?
sense, but some of
I imagine
them...
later it makes sense. Maybe he has a distinct, I don't know, smell or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Hang on a
But
minute.
yeah, so it makes me think that Gumshoe must be really important to this, or at least somewhat
Yeah.
important.
I like
and-
to think that Gumshoe and Edgeworth hang out a lot.
Yeah, that was one of our sort of ongoing theories from last episode, is that they're some kind of associates.
You think they're like actually really good friends?
I wish,
You think
but
it's like
no.
a Kakashi Mike Guy situation where like on surface level he's really annoyed by him, but like on a deeper level he actually has like a lot of respect for him.
He's more like a human cat, where it's like, I show affection by tolerating you and being in your vicinity.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Because that's how it is with like.
I don't like being around people, so like it means a lot when I'm around you for any amount of time.
Yeah. Man, Kakashi and my guy are like one of my favorite anime friendships.
I just realized in the Harley Quinn like
We all need a Mike Guy in our life.
in the Harley Quinn like show, it's established that like Poison Ivy was a lot more like antisocial before she became like close friends with Harley, which means that like she went through a lot of her like sort of arc before the show even began.
Yeah. Yes, you did. So we go to we already talked to Gumshoe. Fuck.
Did
where
we?
do we? Oh no! I
Or,
knocked your
can't-
controller up. I'm sorry.
Can I see what we're doing? Because I got something in my eye.
I hate it when that happens.
Okay, let's see. We show him the attorney badge. He'll be like, "Yeah, you're an attorney."
Hey, look, my attorney badge, detective. Here's my attorney's badge.
You show this to me every time we meet, but real men show the police badge. Sure.
I'm not a police, though.
Just takes his badge there. I wish I had a badge. Even an ID card. But then what's on your lanyard?
Probably a student ID.
Maybe. Yeah, that would make sense.
Wait. Speaking of ID
He's
cards,
just not going to school today.
Yeah. Speaking of ID cards, I found that detective's card, didn't I? Oh,
That's
is that a
probably good.
hint?
A hint?
Is that
I
a
love
hint?
hints.
Hey, player, maybe you should show him the thing.
Good working, player.
Thanks, Phoenix.
Speaking of player, I was watching some Carmen Sandiego with a little sis today.
I do not know what Carmen Sandiego is. Is that a game? Is that a show?
It was a game, and now it's a show. It's pretty good. Its animation is pretty smooth,
what's it
and its characters are
about?
fun.
Is it like
The
a
game
person?
or the show?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure the game was all about tracking down Carmen Sandiego through a series of clues about locations, and basically would teach you a lot about geography. The show, Carmen Sandiego, where do I even start? So you have Carmen Sandiego is found as a baby somewhere in Argentina, and she's raised right next door to basically a thief university where they teach you how to be mega thieves. And eventually she actually joins. She becomes one of the best thieves there, and then she's like, "Oh wait, you guys are bad guys," and manages to escape with the help of a guy in chair by the name of Player. Yep, there you go.
Give it up for Player.
I forget, and then we haven't reached to the part of the backstory, the part of the story that involves the two Boston kids. What is it, Ivy and? Dang it, it's not coming to me. He doesn't like
Ivy and Harley.
I wish. Maybe Harvey. But them two join the crew as well, and basically, Carmen Sandiego's main thing is working with all the skills and knowledge of the Vile, which is the villainous group that goes around stealing stuff and messing with the stock market and so on. Basically, they've been so stealthy that they've been completely undetected. So
they're the Thieves Guild.
Sort of, yeah, where people just don't even think they exist.
Except not cool.
But we're bad guys. So the Thieves Guild before I showed up.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? I stole this bread. Where did you get that bread? There's a guy in the corner. Was he selling bread? No. You just stole someone's bread. They were eating that bread, bro.
Dude, they need that for life.
Go steal some mead from the meadery. They got way too much mead there. I don't know. Do something else. Go steal a bee from the meadery.
Steal from people that won't suffer
A
from
single
you stealing
bee.
from them.
Dude, now that would be a Thieves Guild challenge. I need you to sneak into the meadery, because mead is made with honey, so they got a ton of a honeybee thing set up.
Right.
They need to go down there and steal a queen bee from their hives.
Is mead real?
What?
Is mead
mead is a real thing. It is a type of alcohol made with fermented honey.
You never hear about people drinking that stuff.
I think it might be a modern thing. It's probably something you can get, just like you can get ales, pale ales. You can get ciders.
Is it more of a foreign thing, from England or whatever? Scottish. My sister says mead is Scottish.
I think, yeah, but basically, I don't know. I would say that it's
Blimey.
probably. Here's the thing. Even though I used to use it interchangeably with ale as old timey drinks, the thing is, mead is a fancy drink, because honey is a lot harder to get and ferment than
Ale is just medieval beer.
Yeah, ale is just basically medieval beer. Well, the main difference is between, I think, hops and I forgot what ale is made with. Folks in the comments, please remind me what the part of ale that's not hops. Because that's the main difference. That's the reason why you don't usually think of beer, is that it's traditionally beer is thought of
ingredient
American
would be
hops.
cha. Hobbs and Shaw. It's like Hobbs and Shaw. We got jokes!
You got me there! Man, you were out the gate. You were fast and furious with those references.
Ah!
I need you to lock down this crime scene, and I need 2 more extra small shirts and a bottle of baby oil. You haven't seen that.
I have seen that. You showed it to me. Oh wait.
No, I told it about. I told
you
it to you.
told me about
There's
it.
a spoof movie
No,
that
I haven't actually
there's
seen
a
it.
movie
It was a
that
movie.
parodies like Fast 5 in like every way, and it's called like Super Fast or something.
I need to see it.
Which, you know what's funny? When I saw Super Fast, I was like, oh wow, this is really funny. I imagine like they're doing all this crazy stuff, and also they're like dragging a safe behind them through the streets. And then I watched Fast 5 and like, wait, oh, they actually did do that in the movie. Why? How? Whose idea? What?
Didn't they do that in Pirates of the Caribbean too?
Which is funny because Pirates of the Caribbean came like way after, so like that was just.
Oh, that's right. I was robbing a bank.
That whole setup is like actually really lazy when you think about it, because it's like, oh, we took a thing from a movie from like 5 years ago, but like we didn't like. It wasn't. I don't know. It didn't feel new in a way. Anyhow, though, Super Fast.
Yeah.
And Fast 5. Be sure to watch them both, because without the context of the original movie, it's funny, but like it doesn't. What's the word? It's based off of like a bunch of like assumptions.
I have never seen a single Fast and Furious movie.
I have seen
Like
a bunch of them. I saw the first one, the second one, and the third one's Tokyo Drift, so I didn't see it because it's kind of like on the weird. It's kind of like a side thing. I think it's like a subplot where a guy was.
It's like the near to the Drakengard.
Well,
and
yeah,
they get like a sequel.
Because like.
So you got like a sequel to a spin-off of a game with branching paths and.
I guess,
it
and then
weird.
I think I skipped 4, and then I got to 5, and it's amusing seeing how it sort of plays out, where like the first movie was super early 2000s, like the dialogue was wonky, the action sequences are way shorter than you'd think, and the filters, they were really heavy on filters, where they're like, ah yes, this is California, so it's gonna be kind of a weird orange for a bunch of the time. They were weird like that in the 2000s.
Detective Gumshoe? What can you tell me about this?
It's like a rectangle.
What is this?
And the ID card didn't work. You know, it's got that magnetic strip.
The ID card didn't work. Oh, damn.
You weren't. Oh, you had to do the Randy part of my Sammy J.
I couldn't remember what the line was.
So I got stuck on the lift.
Wait, is
ID card didn't work. Oh, the ID card.
The ID card. Yeah.
And it's because apparently it wasn't scanning the magnetic strip.
Oh, the goddamn magnetic strip.
The goddamn magnetic strip.
Magnetic strip.
Oh, hey, pal. This is a detective ID card. That's like single illegal.
Thanks, detective.
You can't just. That's what I thought I was gonna say. Larry just pops up. That's double illegal.
That's double illegal.
You can't just keep that. You gotta turn it into the police. It's an ID card for a detective. It's people like you that get me into so much trouble all the time.
Meaning Detective Gumshoe must drop his card a lot.
Let's see. Bruce Goodman, one of the worst. Goodman, sounds familiar. Yeah, he's been in a bunch of movies. Yeah, he was in Monsters Inc. He was in.
Is there an actor called Bruce Goodman?
Was it Cloverfield Lane? No, talking about John Goodman.
Oh,
that Goodman. No,
that Goodman.
that
good
Goodman
man over there.
Nah, my mistake. Never heard of him. But didn't you work together in Criminal Affairs? Whoa! Now I remember.
What? Okay.
Bruce Goodman. He's the victim. He's the victim. Of course.
God damn it, Gumshoe.
Did you know, speaking of Speaking of M. Bison memes, did you know that M. Bison's original name was just gonna be M. Tyson?
I did know that.
That it was that the evil boss of the fighting game was gonna be like a Mike Tyson reference.
Yeah, but
they
like,
couldn't get the licensing, so then they changed it to Bison and made him a white guy.
Yeah. Did you know that Soda Popinski's original
name was like Vodka
Drunkovsky?
I'm like,
I am so Russian.
You gotta tone it down there a little.
Punch out. That's what I thought. Oh, hey, speaking of racism.
No.
No, I was just gonna say.
Can you tell us more, Detective Gumshoe?
No, dude, I saw a movie.
No. You
Django.
know you did not.
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay.
Django.
Okay.
Django Unchained.
I have not seen that one.
Quentin Tarantino. Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
It was Tarantino by Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, and Samuel Jackson's there because of course he is.
I mean, come on. How could you not have a movie?
How could you not have Samuel Jackson?
Why would you not have a movie? Why would you have a movie that doesn't have Samuel L. Jackson? We'll discuss that later.
I'm trying to think of a clever response.
I could think of reasons to have more or less Samuel L. Jackson, but none. That's just not enough.
That's none.
It's like having no Taika Waititi in your movie.
Django Unchained is a very good movie.
Huh.
One of my favorites.
Can you tell us more, Detective Gumshoe? So here's a fun fact about gumshoe, or gumshoes. The term...
It's not actual gum, it's made out of the rubbery thing.
I was gonna say, the term gumshoe doesn't come from...
Rubber.
I used to think that it came from, like, walking on sidewalks and stepping in gum, because you're walking a lot and doing legwork. But no, it comes from that the term gumshoe refers to soft-heeled shoes, which was something that you would want to wear as a detective, as opposed to the much more common, like, hard-heeled leather shoes.
Right.
Mainly because people would hear you sneaking around. Or they would hear you sneaking around if you're walking on hard heels.
Huh.
Yeah, it's easy to forget that like, in the days, in like the 50s or so, like, leather shoes were so common that, like, the concept of a soft shoe was like, ooh, this is like special stealthy sneaker feet. That's why we call them sneakers.
Dude,
so you can sneak around in them.
Do gumshoes still exist?
I mean, detectives still exist, and Private Eye still exists, and they would definitely want to wear, like, athletic shoes.
Gumshoes.
Yeah, because you'd want something that was very silent.
Did you ever see Spy Kids 3?
I feel like I have, but honestly, you'll have to remind me what they're facing in that movie. Because I keep remembering the first one for no reason.
Yeah, well, it starts out... You know, it's funny. I think I remember the second one better than I remember the first one. But I remember the third one best only because I had it on DVD and it was in 3D. And it was actually one of my favorite movies for a long time because I had never experienced 3D before.
They should make... I would love a spiritual successor to Spy Kids. Just like a
Spy
movie...
Grown-Ups.
No, well, maybe. But no, a movie, like a kids movie... with spy kids who've got like a whole bunch of like wacky gadgets and like 3D animation, and they're against like pulpy bad guys who have like weird technology. So it's like, I made a bunch of like made a bunch of minions out of thumbs, or I miniaturized a bunch of dinosaurs, or.
Okay, but can Floop be a recurring character within that spinoff, within that spiritual successor?
Yes, and he's played by
kind of like the Herc of Spy Kids.
Yes, but he's played by Tom Hiddleston.
I don't know him.
Loki.
Oh, that guy.
Just as a joke, as Tom Hiddleston keeps taking jumps at there. My joke is that my ongoing joke is that Loki meets you know how there was like the in Thor Ragnarok, they have the play, and there's a bunch of there's fake Odin. Yeah, there's the play, and there's the fake Thor, fake Odin. There's fake Loki in the play.
Yeah.
I was thinking what would have been just hilarious on a meta level is if Alan Cummings played fake Loki, because then he would be Loki in Marvel as a vague reference to him as Loki in Son of the Mask.
If I were
Which like, no one would get, but...
dude, if I were a DJ, my name would be Loki, and I would be Loki on the low-key.
I don't know what my DJ name would be, just that I'd wanna... My whole thing as a DJ is that I would be extremely indie. Like, I'd find, like, little tiny artists that have something, like, really crazy and fresh that, like basically, like, I'd be, like, scooping through, like, what's it called? Basically, I'd be, like, finding people on, like, Newgrounds and stuff, like, for music.
Right.
Or whatever the modern equivalent of that. Probably still
No,
Newgrounds.
dude. We would be, like, co-hosts, DJs, and our names would just be Bingo and the Bird Dog. And that's what it would be called. Welcome back to Bingo and the Bird Dog.
That could work.
Yeah.
Plus, I need a buddy with me, because if I've learned anything about DJing, it's that you should always have an apprentice with you. One, to keep the DJ line going, and two, because DJs are humans and they have to pee, and you need someone to watch the DJ stuff for like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
It's an important thing I learned about DJing.
Huh. Good stuff. So this ID card belonged to the victim?
He was a detective, like myself. Detective Bruce Goodman, I think. Oh, wait, that's on the ID. That's the victim!
Yep.
I mean, why would the victim's ID card be lying on the ground where we found it? Yeah, and the little wallet thing, why would it just be sitting there? Like, wouldn't it just be in his body? Like, it's, what's the word? It seems too purposeful. Unless he, like, had his wallet out and he was by the ATM, because that looked like an ATM, you know? And then, like, someone was like, hey, and then they scared him and he dropped it, and then they got in a fight and I don't know, they stabbed him, but then carried him over to the car before he bled on
Turns out it was just Envy from Fullmetal Alchemist.
Turns out it was...
Bruce Goodman has a mole right beneath his left eye.
Bruce Goodman has a anchor beard. It's like triangular. Just hold on, I'm gonna get some coffee.
Yeah, go drink your coffee.
I do not have enough steam. Someone get me to a sauna.
It's your line.
Well, Detective Goodman should have been at the police department yesterday. There was evidence for transferal. There was an
There was an Oedipus.
There's an evidence complex. There was an evidence transferal for a case he handled 2 years ago. Oh yeah, because they're doing the cleaning.
Oh yeah.
So they're moving all the evidence around. Mr. Edgeworth mentioned that too. You know, usually I'll be like, "Hey," pointing out the obvious, but like, I'm getting okay with it, because sometimes we record every other day, like occasionally. So like, we have like one day of the week where we record back to back.
Yeah.
But like, I'll be like, wait a minute. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's useful to have those little chapter reminders. But Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office.
I think...
Yeah, what was he doing there?
I don't know.
That's the question.
I think this right here is probably my favorite sprite of hers.
Oh, just like looking down with the glasses and doing a little sketch?
With a weird,
I like that she has a commemorative button of Edward Munch's The Scream.
I don't know what that is.
That. The painting? It's the painting.
I was thinking of Kevin...
You were thinking of the kid from Home Alone?
What's his name?
Everybody at home in the comments, what's the name of the kid on the Home Alone cover?
I never saw Home Alone, but that's
you know what I'm talking. You know that guy.
Kevin Callister, Callister.
Kevin
Ballsacker, whatever his name
Kevin
is.
Conroy. Now imagine Kevin Conroy doing that, and it comes full circle where it's silly, but it's also genuine.
Dude, I heard the coolest Kevin Conroy story. It was
I'm pretty sure I heard that one with you.
Yeah. The one where he was like working in the soup kitchen after like the 9/11 thing,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and someone's like,
You wouldn't believe it. We got Batman back here, serving soup.
yeah. And so one guy out there is like, bullshit, prove it. And Kevin Conroy's just like, I am vengeance, I am the knight.
If I was gonna have Kevin Conroy
Such a
like do a
good
line
story.
to show that he was Batman, I wonder what it would be.
Because it's Thursday.
What?
Because it's Thursday. It's the line he says in the Harley Quinn movie, and it's the line that they use for like all of the void thingies. What's it called? The void space or.
Why would he do
They're
that?
not doing it anymore, but Watchtower Database had like a segment that had the word void in it. I can't remember what it was called exactly, but that basically their catchphrase, their intro for that would just end with Batman going, because it's Thursday, because they
That could
always
work.
did it on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what would the line be. You'll have to get back to me on that. It's like if I met like Great Lyle, I'd want her to do the Tides command this ship spiel, because that's a good bit. Do you remember that?
No, wait.
I remember it rather vividly. It was
Wait, who is this?
Great Lyle as Azula in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah.
Where she shows off what kind of bad guy she is by she wants to make port early, and the helmsman's like, I don't think we could do that. The tides won't allow us, and it's like, do the tides command this ship? No. Will the tides hesitate to smash you against the rocky shore if I were to have you thrown overboard? No. Well, then the tides have already made up their mind about your fate, whereas I'm still mulling it over. And it's not in that tone, but it's such a good line for the villain.
Yeah, she was good. She was my favorite from.
Yeah, Great Lyle has. You know what's funny? I had this suspicion that Great Lyle did a voice in Knights of the Old Republic, but it's one of the character. It's for a character that doesn't have a name. It's just Terrace Citizen. And because of that, it's such a minor thing that I don't know if like it's on the IMDb or anything. It's just that it sounds just like her.
My favorite voice.
Great Lyle, get back to me on that.
My favorite voice actor from Avatar is probably Dante Bosco.
I mean, you know what's my stuff though. You know what's my stuff. Gets all.
Dude,
You know what's my jam though.
You know what's my jam?
Dante Bosco. The Dante's Bosco.
Dante Bosco is my shit.
Dante Bosco's.
Dante Bosco's.
He showed up on that. Was it Vivo 3? He showed up as both
as both Zuko and his grandkid.
and his grandson.
And his grandson Iroh. Man, that part where you're like, I am Iroh Man, and then he like turns into actual Iroh Man.
I love that bit. That was a good meme for a very short time.
Anyway, your line.
Well, that's the thing. It's hard to say this, but where is it the chief prosecutor Sky called him out there to the parking lot? Well,
Huh.
why?
And Lana's confessing as much.
Well, okay, so now we have more of the pieces together. She called him in for some reason.
Hey, look at this trophy.
But for whatever reason, yeah. Hey, that's it! The Potassium King. I mean, King of Prosecutors. Award that Edgeworth guy yesterday.
Were you at the awards ceremony, Detective Gumshoe?
Of course, pal. I got an award for diligence myself. Look, it's got a big D on it.
Congratulations.
Just thinking about the dumb Futurama bit where it's just like, congratulations, congratulations on the big bust, gentlemen. Hey, you too. Did you see that bit?
Probably at some point.
They're working as I don't know traffic officers or something, and the bit is that their police chief is a lady who uses all of the like old-timey stereotypes that an old like police chief guy would say, but just using different like phrases. So it's like the DA's really got a grip on my uterus. It just didn't translate, and that was the point.
Right. My wife and I have been talking again. She's
Chill out!
expressed
Don't get
her
your
disappointment.
ovaries in a twist.
I kissed her on the vagina.
That was the crux of
that
her
was the crux of
problem.
her disappointment.
I feel like without a lead up, that's a really weird sentence.
Yeah,
so let's not.
that's more Sammy J and Randy for you. My wife and I are talking again.
I was wondering, why is the award a shield? And why is it broken? I apologize for my fluctuations in British accent. I'm going to justify that by saying that Emma does not normally have a British accent. She has been faking one this whole time and is still trying. That's my go.
Shield's broken because Gumshoe sat on it.
I thought it was Edgeworth, but you know, it could be anyone.
I mean,
there's a reason. I'll tell you what it is later. You sat... Gumshoe, you sat on it, didn't you?
Apparently, he's forgot.
He left it sitting on, like, the couch, and you sat on it.
Man, that's like the situation with Zico's mom. It's like, hey, what happened to Zico's mom? Oh, well, see, it's actually a really great story. Hi, my name's Iki! Fuck off, Iki.
Somebody sat on her.
Somebody sat on her. Somebody
I don't know,
Zico's
man.
mom.
But I was proud. But I was proud of Mr. Edgeworth for winning that award. Yeah. Even with all the naysayers in the prosecutor's office.
Man, fuck those guys.
Need to get my lips loose.
Loose lips.
Otherwise,
sink ships.
Loose lips create ships on Tumblr.
Sure.
Sure.
Naysayers must be because of the rumors. Hey, here's a bloody knife. Check this out.
I told this joke to my little brother, and it was so bad that he just responded with a long pause and leave. I was saying, so you know how people can get like a DJ or a band at their wedding?
Yeah.
Has anyone ever hired Panic at the Disco to show up at their wedding just so they can chime in?
Haven't you ever heard of closing the goddamn
Precisely. Have they literally done... I mean, basically, I was like... So, I pitched to Bobby, I was like... I'm like, has anyone hired Panic at the Disco for their wedding just so they could chime in? And he's just like... Leave.
Just leave. I love Panic at the Disco. Hey, look, Mom, I made it. That's your line.
Found in Mr. Edgeworth's car, stabbed with Mr. Edgeworth's knife, huh? I feel like I read that one. What would drive Chief Prosecutor Sky to do such a thing? Wait, I didn't mean... I'm sure someone else probably... Yeah, we have read this one. I feel like we showed him the night before.
Did we?
Someone who must have... someone must have a grudge against Mr. Edgeworth.
For some reason, I don't know why.
It's a little too much to be a mere chocolate.
It's a chocolate.
Poor Mr. Edgeworth. What could have happened? And we can't ask him because he's the prosecutor.
Nope.
We need some kind of spare Edgeworth to ask about this.
We need another Edgeworth. We'll clone Edgeworth. Make another Edgeworth. We're gonna Superman this.
Can we just... Well, why are they trying to clone the Supermans?
How are you gonna try to clone
Everyone's
Superman?
trying to clone
Everybody be trying to clone Superman.
Like, who did try to clone the Supermans? Didn't work. Try to clone him again?
Superman is my shit!
Kevin Conroy as Batman is my shit.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I would love if he just, like, played Batman, but, like, in a Batman Beyond setting where he's Bruce.
Oh, where he's an older...
Yeah, he's, like, an older Bruce.
Yeah, that time might be coming up, actually.
I hope so. Dude, who would play Terry McGinnis?
Who would play Terry? I would say someone we've never heard of before. I want someone who's been in, like, one movie before that we hadn't heard of. That, you know, like, I want to... What's his... You know how, like... When the guy who played Finn in Star Wars, for some reason I can't remember the name's not coming to me at the moment. Please help me.
I don't know what his name is.
Please.
Dude, I was...
Okay, well, he was in Attack the Block before that, which I hadn't heard of, but I was like, oh, okay, so he was in like a movie before that. I just hadn't heard of that movie. But
that-
like he was a relatively like new like actor. That's what I want out of a Terry McGinnis situation.
Isn't that also what Matt Smith's situation was in Doctor Who?
I think so. I think, if I recall correctly, I thought a lot of the doctors were supposed to be like relatively new
I am
names.
so far behind on Doctor Who.
Mainly because, I mean, if I were hiring doctors for Doctor Who, I mean, more
Well,
like
I mean,
Doctor
obviously
playing.
you would want to get Dr. Ken Jeong.
What?
Wait, is that his name? The dude from the Hangover movies.
No. No. If I was looking for a doctor person, I would want it to be a relatively new name in the industry. One, because I like bottom up work where you just be like, yes you, we're going to make you a star.
But then what happens when he becomes a full-fledged celebrity? Do you lose
Yeah, but
interest in
they're
him
known
then?
first as the Doctor Who.
Yeah, but then do you lose interest in them and then decide to get
Nah,
another
the point
star?
is that if you got someone who is already a big name to play the Doctor, then people see them as their other roles first and then the Doctor. But if you get a new name, they're like evolving into that role.
Yeah.
Because it takes
Yeah.
it takes a while to get out of a role. That's why like my heart goes out to like, I don't know, Daniel Radcliffe and Hugh Jackman
Well,
and stuff.
then Kevin Conroy would be like the perfect person to have as an elder Bruce Wayne because like we already know him as Batman.
Well, yeah, that's
So
why
just
he's
to
good
have
as
him
old.
an
That's
older
why he'd
Bruce
be
Wayne
perfect
would,
as
like-
old Batman because he fits it on a classic level. And then Terry McGinnis would be like an unknown where he not only represents a new wave, but he also represents the new wave of actors. Where Kevin Conroy is classic Batman, Terry McGinnis is new Batman.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
See where I'm going with that?
Yeah. I'd be good with that.
Then again, I mean, you may as well just you could get like Kevin Conroy in there, and then Terry McGinnis is what's his name? The new guy who's playing Batman.
But then whatever else he was in, people would then only think of him as the guy who played Batman Beyond.
Yeah, but
So isn't that kind of a paradox?
my whole thing with we switched from Batman to Doctor Who, and that's the thing is that the whole thing about Doctor Who is that like he's going to be around for a really long time because of like the Doctor Who season
Right.
length. So they're gonna have it'll be like the first huge step.
Well, yeah, but like, so you say you want to get someone that people wouldn't recognize from something else,
Mhm.
but then that new actor would wind up being recognized as Batman Beyond in future projects.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, isn't it kind of just the same situation in a different order?
Sort of. The thing is that instead of it would really what's the word? It would really bring out the concepts that you're going with though, that the Batman Beyond is someone we haven't seen them before because he's a Batman that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like especially because no one would be expecting a certain Batman from him because he's not the same Batman. He's a successor to Batman.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
Do
yeah,
you-
honestly, if the best direction they could have taken Batman as what's his name? He sells car insurance.
The guy
No,
from
life
Allstate?
insurance. No, Affleck.
Oh,
See what I did there?
No, I don't. Walk me through what just happened. My brain's not working.
What's his name? Affleck, the guy who played Batman recently.
Affleck played Batman?
Something Affleck. It's not Affleck. It's Affleck.
The guy who played Daredevil?
Oh.
Ben Affleck.
Yes.
Yeah, Ben Affleck.
Yes, that Affleck. Ben Affleck. Sorry,
Yeah.
I couldn't remember his first name for a moment. My whole direction,
Affleck.
my whole direction with that, as soon as it was like, as soon as they pitched him as, oh, he's like Batman, but like near the end of his career, I was like, if you're gonna start your cinematic universe with old Batman, you really should prepare yourself for a Terry McGinnis. Like, you gotta.
Okay. First of
Because
all,
it's gonna be weird if he's like, I'm at the end of my prime, and then like 3 movies later, he's like, I'm still at the end of my
yeah,
prime.
which is why I don't, well, I mean, okay. That would create a whole situation if you tried to then pair him with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, because Joaquin Phoenix Joker is older than Bruce in the Joaquin Phoenix movie. So if Batman is like at the end of his prime
Well, yeah.
in the DC universe,
Well, yeah,
and then
Joaquin
he
Phoenix
fights
just
Joaquin
has a
Phoenix
successor.
Joker, who's like in his 80s at that
I mean,
point.
that one's really simple though, because I
How?
think the enduring part about the Joker is that my
He
whole
doesn't age.
no.
I mean, that's kind of.
I mean, that could be a
I
thing,
mean,
but
my
no,
headcanon is that he doesn't age.
favorite thing as far as like villain theme is that the Joker has this sort of cult of personality where, as much as I love and I also hate that the Joker can sort of come back when he dies or whatever, but I'm also a fan of like fake Jokers showing up because he has such a like an underground following.
Yeah.
Like I like the idea of there being like there's at least like 3 Joker themed gangs in Gotham.
Batman Beyond is.
Which,
like,
by the way, must get really interesting because it's
Yeah,
like, oh
yeah.
yeah, we got Die Laughing, we've got Best Medicine, we got the Funny Bones.
Yeah.
They got a bone theme. They got like skull masks.
Yeah. Batman Beyond, now being like an official part of the DC Comics, which is awesome. He has like his own Rebirth comic.
Everything's
which I think-
cool. It's the future.
Yeah, but I think it actually started out with some guy trying to bring the Joker back to life. Because
Of course.
it
Don't you know
did.
anything about science?
Don't you know about that?
We
About
made
science?
twin clones of Joker.
How are you gonna clone Joker? Everybody been trying to clone Joker up here. How are you gonna clone Joker?
No. Okay, we cloned the Joker, but then we put him on like a desert island because then he can finally be free outside of a society.
He'll be hanging out with Vaz from Far Cry 3.
I don't want.
Societies are bad.
just imagining Professor Farnsworth, but he's got the Joaquin Phoenix like Joker makeup, and it's like I don't want to live in a society anymore. Oh, I made myself laugh.
We have to find out a little. I love to lick a lemon lollipopper in Lilyhammer.
What?
I couldn't say the line, so I devolved into Family Guy quotes.
Yellow leather, red lello.
We
And it's me flubbing these lines for 10 minutes straight.
we have to find out a little more about what's going on with Edgeworth.
What's the deal with Edgeworth?
Mr. Edgeworth.
It's like a painting of a wizard with like a glowing orb, and it's like, finally, the deal with airline food. I love that meme so much. Just like paintings of wizards discovering things.
Right.
At last I found it. Mambo number 6.
Dude, I would love for there to be like a Mambo number 5 song, but like with each protagonist from each Assassin's Creed game. So it's like a little bit.
I mean, if it's been done with Disney characters, look, if it could be done with Disney characters, which has to vastly change the context of the song.
Well, obviously.
Then yes, you would have to. You'd have to. You could do that. You could make. What is it? You got Altair, Ezio, Connor. What's his name?
Edward Kenway.
The Fry twins.
The Fry twins. Not Arno.
Whoever from Unity. Whoever from
Not Arno.
Rogue. We're not gonna. We're not. I won't play your game, you rogue.
You know, it's funny.
You played Unity and Rogue, so
Yeah.
you were one of the few people who'd be able to actually like say how they like where they felt
Rogue
on the technical
was
level.
better.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird because like when I started marathoning those games, which I've still not done, I just kind of stopped in the middle of Origins to have a Far Cry marathon. But
Bro, we should make a pact where you will play Origins and I will read Fables. That'll be our homework.
that'll be our
That'll be our book club.
Yes, that's our book club game.
You
club,
got it. By
book
the way, you
game
got to
club.
collect those standing stones. You see those standing stones? Look up the guide thing and just pick up all of them.
I will pick up. The
That's
standing
good
stones.
story stuff. It's
Good
the funny
story
thing about
stuff.
the standing stones is that it's like, oh yeah, you have to. This one is recommended at like level 5. And I'm like, oh okay, so that's like really close to the start of the game. But the standing stones are all across the map, and the entire map goes from like level 1 to level like 50.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, level 5 if you can sneak past the hyena, the one hyena that's like 50 levels above you.
Yeah.
But if you can do that, then you'll be okay.
Right.
surprisingly few boat levels in that one.
Huh.
I'm really glad that Odyssey brought the boat thing back. There's
I am
so
not.
much boat stuff.
I am not.
Ah.
I want them to stop with the boat stuff.
How could...
Because I hate the battles. Like, my least favorite part of both Black Flag and Rogue was just the ship battles.
Oh, man.
I hated those. I don't like the ship. Please stop making boats a permanent thing in Assassin's Creed. Stop bringing it back.
Then if we ever stream an
anymore.
Assassin's Creed or Assassin's Creed-like game that has that, then I'm doing all the boat battles because that is my jam.
That is perfectly fine.
Dude, I unlocked a
that.
skin in Odyssey that makes it that the so there's a bunch of skins for the crew that make them look like other stuff, and I unlock one that makes them look like Spartans, and I'm like, yeah, but when I'm fighting Spartans, it's going to be confusing. And likewise, I got one for Athenians, and I eventually got one that was bandits, female, and I was like, oh, lady bandits. We can have like a whole Flight of the Valkyries going on here, where it's Cassandra as the captain, and you just have like Barnabas and Herodotus like on the side. But you have Cassandra, all her lieutenants are various lady bandits that she's recruited, and then her entire crew is lady bandits. So I did that. And not only was that really neat just on its own, but it actually changed the audio cues for the crew. So all of their sound effects and their sea shanties are changed to ladies singing them. And I'm like, that's really cool, because that means they went through the trouble of actually recording like a whole like lady pirate like group to just for that.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I think it's as far as I know, it's one of the only like lady crews that you can get. Excuse me. Which, like, the only upgrade from that is if they had a DLC where you could have like basically have the aesthetic from the Amazons from Themyscira and Wonder Woman. You know, just like it's basically like just Hellenic like plating and stuff, but they still look really cool.
Yeah.
That would be my jam, because that'd be a step up from Lady Bandits, which is mostly just like tunics.
Right.
But still.
Miles Edgeworth, 1712. This is dated the day of the crime.
The murder took place 3 minutes after Edgeworth parked his car. If only he was held up. See, that seems like a line that you would say. If only,
yeah. There's a lot of those in this game.
If only he was held up at a couple...
If only he was held up at a couple extra red lights.
That's not a huh. He wouldn't have been caught up in this whole affair. Curse you, proper traffic systems!
Damn it!
You know, it's...
Oh, I hate the traffic system. I hate the traffic system.
Oh, the traffic system. Oh, the traffic system.
Oh, the fucking
Can't believe the traffic system.
It's more Sammy J and Randy.
You know, all you need is love, like that song from the Bee Gees. I was like, wait. Look, all you need for a good comedic character is it's not that hard.
How hard is it to make a memorable comedy character? Okay, I think it's catchphrase.
Catchphrase.
Repetition.
Character.
Catchphrase.
Repetition.
Character.
Catchphrase.
Repetition.
And you repeat it on and so forth until you get it right.
A memorable comedy character.
Breaking it down.
Oh man. Backbenchers. Sammy J and Randy Backbenchers. Go look it up. And
I feel more connected to this fictional version of British politics.
Right.
Honestly, I kind of wish that the United States had a more British form of politics in the way that they're actually a lot more granular as far as like how many representatives you get for population. So technically speaking, like you'd actually have it'd be a little closer to democracy because of how many little bits and bobs you'd have in the Senate.
Right. Perhaps.
Goes to show you, you never know. Hold on. It goes to show you never know what'll happen when you run a Rello light. Red leather, yellow leather. Yellow lello.
My life is a yellow light.
Park the car in the aardvark yard.
What was that line?
What?
Something about him living his life like a yellow light or something. I think it was from Steven Universe.
No, don't remember that. And you think I would?
There was
because my mind is the internet. I know every continuity mistake made on television.
They said there wasn't enough.
That's a double reference right there.
There wasn't enough room on the road for the universe. I told them
the universe is my road.
Edward's trouble.
I'm pretty sure Steven's like full legal name now is Stephen Rose Quartz Cutie Pie DeMeo Universe.
Why Cutie Pie?
He got that name from Garnet because it was like I'm Steve or something, and then he's like, your name is Cutie Pie, and I'm glad that like.
Wait, when did you say that?
That was back in the original series.
Huh.
So I love that like he's retained that as such like a key thing, which I would too because Garnet is great. Luckily there's a GIF on almost every platform that you can use. If you look up like Garnet love or something, where it's the moment where it's like Garnet is leaving, she's like, oh, Steven, I forgot to say something. What? I love you. Bye.
Yeah.
It's such a good show.
It's a good one.
It makes me feel good. He's in a tough spot again.
Again? Well, yeah, you know, there was the whole that thing that we're flashing back
Wasn't that this year? No, technically that was last year
like
because it was like
ago.
December.
Yeah.
Well, it all started with the murder of that defense attorney, a turkey.
Who is
Hammond?
that turkey? That turkey over there.
What was his first name?
Robert?
Yeah, Robert the Ham Hammond.
Robert the Ham Hammond. Who's that
Miles the Eggs Edgeworth.
Who's that turkey? What turkey? That turkey over there. Oh, that's just an actual turkey.
I don't know enough of that bit to do it with you.
Yeah. It's a good bit.
It's a good bit.
We're gonna wave a symbolic turkey in front of us. The least you could do is throw a couple drumsticks our way.
Man, I feel like we could do a bit about we could do a bit like that, but it'd be two people talking about like a local restaurant in Tucson, like what was it? Like Rocco's or whatever.
Yeah.
Rocco's? I think it's Rocco's. I think they're still a thing.
Rocco's, Applebee's.
They have
Denny's.
In fact, they just before you get to the bathrooms in the rear of the restaurant, you can see on the right they have a signed photo of Guy Fieri. They do. He went there at one point, and I'm sad I wasn't there at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Which, by the way, is why like when it comes to like I don't know food personalities, I think Guy Fieri is like one of the few I can stand. Like, because as opposed to like, as opposed to being like a drama version of like a health inspector, or going to places that are already like massive, he just goes to various like diners, drive-ins and dives, like places that are like small and local, and just like goes there and tries the food, and that's my jam right there. Like. I'm okay. I really like someone using their like TV personality to be like, hey, you know this tiny place that like only people like local people know? It's got good stuff. Check it out.
Right.
They have a signed photo of the Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri. Your line.
But Mr. Edgeworth was found innocent. Listen, pal. There've always been rumors about Mr. Edgeworth. Forging evidence, making deals with witnesses, parking his car on my salad.
Oop! I thought it was a sandwich.
You know, how hard is it to make a salad?
How hard is it to make a salad?
Lettuce,
ranch,
tomatoes.
I don't fucking know what goes.
You don't
with
have to keep going. You can just repeat.
Ranch,
lettuce,
tomatoes,
lettuce,
ranch,
lettuce,
tomatoes,
lettuce, lettuce.
Salad!
And repeat until you've got a salad!
It's like one of my favorite bits.
That's all it takes. Character,
like 3
catchphrase,
words.
repetition.
How hard is it to make an egg? It was like some kind
eggplant, an eggplant pomegranate.
Eggplant pomegranate.
Very
something.
difficult.
It's
It's
very
remarkably
difficult, actually. Yes, it's actually quite difficult.
I like where once you establish the joke, you can start bending the joke. So They start with like lasagna or a sandwich or whatever.
Dude, the octopus one was the best.
Well, yeah, and that's because it's like, how hard is it to serve octopus? And then they go through the whole process of like, because you gotta freeze it and then unfreeze it, otherwise it's like too chewy or something.
Yeah.
And that entire like him going through the entire process and simmer it and stir.
It's simmer.
And then that's how
the coconut milk.
And if you do all that right, that's how you serve octopus.
Seriously, Sammy Jane Remedy, Backbenchers, go watch it. Watch all of them. There's like 8 episodes.
What? I hit the button.
Right, hitting button. Did Edgeworth ever actually forge evidence, though, or do any of that?
That is the question.
Because, like, those were the rumors throughout the game, but I don't think it was ever established if he actually did that stuff.
Yeah, it's a big question because it makes you think. Because on one hand, you want him to be a better guy after him becoming a better guy, but like, there's no reason that he's, what's the word? It's entirely possible that he really was always the bad guy in the past, and
then got better.
That's just how he was back then.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he was under the tutelage of Von Karma or whatever.
Yeah. Who, that'd fuck up anybody.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why I keep his pelts on the wall. You mean his jacket? Did you not think that was his body? He's just a suit.
He's just a suit. That's what vampires are made of.
He's a bunch of linens stuffed into a suit.
It's what Victorian vampires are made out of.
You know how like some vampires can assume a gaseous form? Well, he just assumes a linenous form. There's your joke.
It's just what he chose to be.
Form of steam. Nothing outright, but there were always whispered rumors.
You're a whispered rumor.
Ever since he was accused of murder, no one's whispering. They're practically shouting, "Hey, are you talking about Edgeworth?
Hey, are you a murderer? I think you're a murderer."
But there's no evidence against him. Well, Mr. Edgeworth has always had unusually strong ties to the department higher-ups. Maybe he knows something. It's only natural that people would be suspicious.
I had no idea he was under the gun.
Anyways, this latest case started a whole new rumor. I'm really ad-libbing here.
Yeah.
People say the only reason he took this case is because he's aiming for the chief prosecutor position himself.
What?
But I know the truth, pal. Sorry for everyone's eardrums. Nobody wants to be the one who has to prosecute the chief prosecutor. Mr. Edgeworth is biting the bullet on this one. He's doing this for all of us.
Damn, dog. So we get to say that.
Because, like, that's the thing. Like, I wouldn't wanna have to prosecute the chief prosecutor. Well, like, I guess we know a handful of the circumstances, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it really all comes down to. It all comes down to the chief prosecutor's guy's, like, just presentation. The fact that, like, she doesn't have any sort of motive yet.
Yeah.
Like, she has the means and opportunity, but, like, it just feels too...
straightforward.
It's too straightforward.
Too
it's simultaneously, like, too scripted to be a random thing that she didn't care about, but also too obvious to be something that she did care about, so it's just someone else.
Yeah.
Or she was under some kind of psychic influence.
Okay, I was gonna say, can we not bring psychics into this game? And then I realized that's already a thing.
No, but that's a different kind of psychic. That's channeling spirits.
Yeah.
Which is
You think they'll start bringing in characters with superpowers on these games?
That brings me to not that the MGS thing, and then that brought me to remember something. I think that this, the Phoenix Wright world, could easily overlap with the Carmen Sandiego world.
Yeah.
Because everyone has, like, these larger-than-life personalities and, like, names. Everyone, like, you know, Cookie Booker, the book-cooking bookkeeper. Like, everyone's got, like, Sarah Bellum, who's a scientist. Like, it just writes itself.
Right.
So, in a world like that, yeah, I think Phoenix Wright, the Ace Attorney, would exist.
In a world where Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright exists
The only-
in the same
the-
world as Carmen Sandiego.
The only downside, the only downside is that, as we know, Carmen Sandiego is a very geologically accurate world, so we couldn't have any, like, San Francisco's or whatever, which is why this would have to take place in a sort of alternate USA, because, or at least that's my assumption, sort of alternate, yeah, because we know it's not Japan itself, but it's
Yeah.
also, yeah.
It's also not the U.S. itself. I don't know what the fuck this is.
It's a world where the U.S. has a lot more Japanese-inspired architecture,
Yeah.
so it's sort of in the middle.
Yeah.
Because that's the funny thing is that when you think about it, what if someone who was making the sprites and backgrounds, like, they weren't thinking of making it like generic? It's just that it's impossible to have something generic when the national styles of certain things are fundamentally different.
Yeah.
Like, you open a door to someone's living room, and if they do or don't have chairs, that tells you, like, an entire hemisphere, or like entire, like, there's, like, entire cultures that do or don't have the chairs with legs, or if you're just, like, kneeling by the table.
Right.
It's a whole cultural thing.
Right. Look, that patrolman is saluting the other guy. He must be a detective. And then I said, "Hey, you
That's
do
a-
that.
You're
your
reading my
soup
line!"
Will get. Oh, that's it. Oh, my
And then I said, "Hey, you do that, your soup will get cold, buddy."
I feel like you're going to say.
I need a different voice than the default one I use. That's hilarious, sir. I laughed so hard I cried. XD I guess he wasn't saluting, he was wiping tears from his eyes. They're just wiping it really slow.
Yeah.
I'm taking my rabbit for a walk.
They make a good pair.
I told you about that with Undertale.
You did tell me about that.
I love little bits like that where it's like, I'm taking my rabbit for a walk, and you come back later. Like, even if you're like at the end of the game, you go back and you talk to them and they're like, it's a very slow walk.
It's a very slow walk. It's a very slow rabbit.
Mr. Wright, do you know why patrol cars are painted black and white?
No idea. Why?
Because if they didn't paint them, they get rusted.
Huh.
I think they're designed after a panda.
Panda?
Not that I have scientific proof. It is just that's not a theory, that's a hypothesis. That's not very scientific.
Whichever, man.
It's the colloquial term for theory works like that, but if you're into science, then you would understand that theory is a lot more constructed, whereas a hypothesis is what most people use
I
when they say
learned that
theory.
in middle school science.
I learned that in, I don't know, I think high school, when I got really into like the scientific method.
Might have been high school. It was one or the other. Dude, do you remember the Van de Graaff generator?
How could I forget the Van de Graaff generator?
Oh, I love the Van de Graaff generator.
My older... Oh, I love the Van de Graaff
I love the
generator.
Van de Graaff generator.
Oh, don't you tell me about the Van de Graaff generator, son. I love
Dude,
Van de Graaff.
the Van de Graaff generator is my shit.
But you gotta make up your mind, man. I can't be both. I can't be British legislator and American valet guy. They're distinctive styles. Your American valet is no match for my British legislator. Did I tell you I watched Kung Fu Panda? I mentioned it last time, but
Yeah.
man, the movie just has really good fight scenes and stuff. Like, it's weird how there isn't more movies like Kung Fu Panda when you think about it. Because you can do high action, but in a cartoony style, which is like, it's fun for kids, but like it's cool on a technical, like, wuxia level,
You think?
and I'm mispronouncing that because I'd only seen it in text.
You think Kung Fu Panda could exist in the same world as Shaolin Showdown?
No, simply because there's too much of a gap with the whole talking animals thing. But
Well, what if they're a whole secret society of talking animals? Hidden from the Shaolin Showdown world.
It's sort of its own... It's enough of its own thing that it would be its own thing.
Maybe it's a multiverse.
What I'm saying is that I just figured out that my dad isn't really my dad.
The bird guy?
The goose?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
That must have been quite a
very
shock for you.
difficult.
Man, Tigress got a lot of business in the second movie.
Man.
Like all the Furious Five got fleshed out a bit more, but like, man, she's great. Also, you know one thing that doesn't quite add up.
What?
So the Furious Five, Furious Five can like stall like Tai Lung, but somehow, probably just because Tai Lung was underestimating Po, I think simply through underestimating Po and not being used to his fighting style is how Po really like won versus Tai Lung. That and just being durable.
Yeah.
Because when you consider that Po would almost certainly like lose a battle with Tigress, it just puts a weird like circle of power where it's like, where's what's actually top tier there?
Yeah. Dude, you think Kung Fu Panda could exist in the same world as Sly Cooper?
Sly Panda.
Sly Panda.
I'm imagining it, and maybe, but they'd be in different eras.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
I like when there's like, a real location, but it's in an abstract location in that real country, like the concept of like a medieval or Renaissance like China,
Right.
but it's not a specific place in China. It's the concept of a China.
Right.
In the same way that like Louis L'Amour book talks about the West, but it's not like a West that exists. It's Louis L'Amour's Old West.
Journey to the West.
That's a different journey.
Yeah.
I love that. I saw this I saw this Tumblr post a while back that was like, you know what's the funniest thing about DBZ is that someone took like Journey to the West and they're like, oh, check out this Monkey King, and like basically made like an entire like show that's roughly based on that. Like
And
the
then made him an alien.
Yeah, the Western equivalent of that would be if they had like Cinderella, but then at the end of it, she's like, I must gain more power, and then she continually goes out and fights bigger and badder stepmothers.
Dragon Ball was never westernized, though. It's always been a Japanese thing.
Did you not hear what I said? I said the Western equivalent of that would be if you had like something like yeah, if you
I
had,
thought you were saying something.
No, the Western equivalent of that would be like if you had like a German fairy tale or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
Hansel and I was gonna say, oh, where Hansel and Gretel go off to fight more powerful witches, and I was like, wait, no, that was a movie.
Yeah, that was a movie.
That
with
was
Jack,
a movie.
too.
Oh my
Jack the
gosh!
Giant
Not only was
Slayer.
that a movie, but that was also the implied like sequel to the movie after that. Was they go and fight even more witches?
They also did that with Jack the Giant Slayer.
They did, didn't they?
Yeah.
That, except as an anime. Honestly, they should just make those
when
animes.
you get farther on Fables, you're gonna see Hansel, and it's a twist. There's a twist on his character.
Does he change his name to Han?
Nah, he's just fucked up in the head.
Oh, he's not doing Gretel.
Nah.
No, that sounded way weirder than I wanted.
That's,
He's not.
that
He's
sounds-
not feeling.
That
Gret-
just sounds incestuous.
He's not feeling Gretel.
He's-
He has, however, subscribed to Grape Crate. They'll send you a single grape in the mail.
Looks like it's a red grape this quarter.
Amazing.
Um,
Do you
I love grape grape.
You know what's funny? You know how I was saying there's like a series of jokes that get funnier when you retell them?
Yeah.
That's one of them, which is especially funny because it's something that originally came from Game Grumps.
Yeah.
So you have like the mimetic mutation of the Game Grumps making an original joke and then it being retold.
Man, shout out to Game Grumps.
Shout out to Game
I
Grumps.
fucking love Game Grumps.
Man, their bingo card's probably almost full right now.
Yeah.
We got MGS, we got Game Grumps, we got System Mastery, we got the Harley cartoon. I don't know what else was on there. I got anime references.
Hey, now we can add Key and Peele to it, and Sammy J and Randy. Oh wait, we have
Sammy J and Randy are already on the list. I gotta add Key and Peele to the list.
Do you mind me asking how you came up with that theory? Or should I say hypothesis?
It was when I was on a school trip. I saw a patrol car, and it came to me. I imagined it munching a bunch of, like, bamboo stalks through its grill thing. We had just bought a zoo. We'd just been at the zoo, see?
We just bought a zoo. We're gonna buy a zoo.
Look, every great story starts the same. The main character considers buying a zoo. What? Yeah, it's part of the monomyth. You consider buying a zoo. There's the rejection of the zoo.
How hard can it be to make a story about a guy who's considering buying a zoo?
Stop. That's way... I do like that.
Did you just start naming off animals?
I like the taking the monomyth, but then just like making it something else. So it's like every story begins with a character maybe buying a zoo. Then there's the rejection of the zoo, the acceptance of the zoo, the great quest to find better zoo parts. What's a zoo part, Lou Jack? Like a fence? Like a fence chunk?
I guess.
Like a park ranger hat?
Would you consider the animal food part of the zoo?
Yeah, that'd be a
you get a bag of animal food and
that's
you got
a zoo
part
chunk
of the zoo.
you need.
That's a zoo chunk.
How about zebra?
What about zebras? Or did they not have those at your zoo?
She just disappears.
Oh, okay.
Just leaves the
All right,
scene.
bye.
Yeah, what's that say?
Okay, bye.
I was gonna add Key and Peele to our list.
Yeah.
The banner here is announcing crime-fighting campaign.
Nice slogan.
I wonder if they'll be selling fingerprinting sets.
I don't think it's that kind of campaign.
No. What family wouldn't want a set at home? Let me check here. It's good for finding out who snuck into the cookie jar.
I think most families can figure that out without the extra help. Who stole the cookies from the cookie jar?
What? I was typing Key and Peele, and one of the words that came up on the auto-suggest was P with like 11 E's. My phone has a habit of being like, hey, did you spell that one word like differently for emphasis that one time? Here, have it again. I'm like, I'm glad that you have a quick delete feature where you can just be like, hey, that suggestion, don't do that. Otherwise, it would be that way with a lot of words. It would be like, please, or you.
Bro.
And I was checking out, whoa, security, it's right here.
Whoa, security.
I always get excited when I come to the police station.
Oh, it'd work ahead. I sure hope it does.
What if I... And then the car crashes, just says, in Comic Sans, the road did not work ahead. That right there is, I think it's a MK Atwood meme. Shout out to MK Atwood. I'm glad that you have made so many Steven Universe memes. And they're very well animated. Have you not seen them?
No.
I'll have to see them after the stream. They're very good.
Alright. Why is that?
It just feels like I've jumped... Whew. Feels like I've jumped into a movie. A movie about police procedurals or something.
Huh?
You know, with all the police and the criminals and the procedurals.
Well, I don't know if this is all that exciting.
Sure it is. Look at those two officers over there. Wiping their eyes a bunch. They're probably talking about the latest bust. Congratulations.
Funny. I thought they were talking about the weather.
Can we
I
look
feel
at
like that makes more sense in context if you do that before you look at the cops.
Can you look at the Badgie and the ink machine over there?
Badgie and the ink machine.
Yeah, he's got the same shape of head.
Yeah.
Huh. I was wondering about that. What? The Dancing Blue Badger? It's my masterpiece. I was wondering who constructed this creature.
You made this, Detective Gumshoe?
The chief threw together some designs, and I just did my thing, pal. Nice work. It's battery powered, so it can go anywhere. There's no switch, so it just kind of dances until the batteries die. Oh.
Wow. That sounds
Poor
like a
Blue
metaphor for
Badger,
life.
fated to dance until he drops.
Sounds like a metaphor for life.
What is this? Don't get me on my BoJack Horseman feels.
We can dance until we die, you and I. No.
That it was coming to me. I was thinking of the song "Dance Till You're Dead." Which is like,
Off with your head. Dance till you're dead. Oh. Okay, well, we went with two completely different
What
songs.
were you going with? That wasn't "Dance Till You're Dead."
Well, they do say dance until you're dead in the song I was singing.
What were you singing?
Singing off with your head, dance till you're dead.
That's probably a different song.
Well, you're probably a different song.
Someone get Panic at the Disco to arbitrate this.
Have them chime in.
I need them to chime in.
We need them to chime in.
I would love.
Don't worry, we'll have the door closed so that they can barge it wide open. And then chime in.
Oh man, Panic at the Disco. They know what it's like when you get the mosquitoes in your house.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Blue Badger.
I've always wondered. I love the idea of like going up to like celebrities and asking them like a dumb question that pertains to what they do. Like, be like, the lead singer be like, "So are you Panic at the Disco? Which one of you is Panic?"
We're looking for Mr. Disco, Mr. Panic at the Disco. Blue Badger, a panel added to the court record.
We didn't have that? Okay. I guess we learned
not.
something today.
Alright.
That's all I know about that. I'm not officially on the case, you know. Thank you.
Why are you handling the case, Detective Gumshoe? You met the guy who is. What was his name? The guy in the parking lot?
That'd be,
Officer Marshall.
Bruce Goodman? Oh, no, the live guy. That's Officer Marshall.
The alive guy.
He was appointed directly by the chief of police.
Officer Marshall. Is he some kind of Wild West sheriff or something?
Nope, Jake Marshall's just a regular officer from West LA. So yeah, he's kinda.
Yeah, from a moment there I wasn't sure.
LA is a little too coastal to be a cowboy, if you ask me. Look, pal, let me try to make things a little easier for you. Imagine space is like a piece of paper, and then you poke a hole through it. That's how warping works.
That's how what works?
That's how warping works. You just imagine space is you know that example where they have the piece of paper and they fold it and they punch a pencil through it to show that you can punch a pencil through the paper?
No, I don't.
It's everywhere though. Every time warping is explained in a form of media.
Well,
in the last like 20
that shows how much sci-fi I watch.
Oh. I thought it was ubiquitous enough that I could get away with it. That was a bit they did on System Mastery. They're like, you know, what'd be funny now that they're like the pencil through the paper, like the pencil through the paper to show how warping works is so common in media that you could just use mentioning that as the explanation. It's like, oh yeah, we're warping through space and time. It's kind of like that thing where they punch a hole through the paper.
Right, right.
That I understand that pop culture reference.
Oh yeah.
I'll show them this, and they'll let you examine the crime scene. Maybe.
Well, let me punch him in the face, because I'd really like to punch him in the face.
This is your most important mission. This is an envelope.
That was the M&M's commercial.
Yes.
Yeah. Really? We're in the middle of a friggin' bomb scene, and your cell phone goes off? This is why we don't do movies. Why is it still ticking? I'll be surprised if this gets us anywhere.
Just act like you're supposed to be there, and no one will look twice at you, pal.
Act like...
I feel like they're adding the pals willy-nilly. That, or I'm just not reading it right. Wait, hold on. We can click them again?
Oh, I guess so.
I was wondering about that. What we just did that though.
Yeah, we did.
We totally did that.
We totally did that. Usually it's
there. We go. That. Was...
Oh no! I didn't. I didn't mean it.
Okay, so space-time is like this paper here.
Time is a thing that you put on the wall, or you can wear it on your wrist.
The past, it is far behind us, and the future, pal, doesn't exist.
When you run out of time, where does it go, pal?
Is time even real? Does anyone know?
I don't know, pal.
Maybe time's a construction of human perception. Okay, who would be doing that though? Who would be doing the screeching?
Like which Phoenix Wright character?
Yeah.
Hang on. I'm gonna say Edgeworth. Except he'd be like, whoop!
No, it
like
would be missile barking.
Oh yeah, just be missile. Barky just gets like louder and louder though. The detectives in there look pretty busy.
Just imagine, right now.
I can only imagine.
Behind those doors, a police drama in action. What do you mean angrily on the phone with Chipotle? What do you mean the guac is extra?
The guac is extra. The father.
What do you mean the guac is extra? The father. Did we cover that on this?
We talked about it in a previous episode, but basically I was playing Far Cry 5.
Okay, we're playing Far Cry 5, and every time there's a loading screen, it'll show like a quote. It'll either be a thing from the Bible that vaguely references the plot, or a quote from one of the characters, except almost all of the character quotes are actually really generic.
Yeah.
Like, they're not like a really cool speech,
yeah.
They're actually just vaguely
Yeah, I was playing
foreboding.
with Taylor, and like the quote showed up, it was like, something's coming, you can feel it, can't you? And I was like, is that really a quotable bit of dialogue?
Is that something that specifically the father would say?
Like...
And
so then we just started doing this bit where we just say stupid shit and then add
just
like
be
favorite
like,
quotes.
It's just like, this isn't the right wrench for this spoke. The father.
The father.
What do you mean the guac is extra? The father.
The father. So yeah, that's another. Dude, we should add that to the bingo list.
Ouch, that hurt like a butt cheek on a stick. Jacob C. Watch your profanity. The father.
Hey, look, man. I'm gonna let you finish, but Metal Gear Solid 3 is one of the greatest video games of all time.
Don't you bring MGS in. You leave MGS out of this.
What's your deal with MGS? What's your problem with MGS?
We can't bring MGS into a conversation of the seeds.
MGS is part of everything. Don't you see? It's a whole conspiracy.
Don't you see? The memes. They're connected to everything.
Alright, Monsoon.
When it comes to memes, what you need, you've got the virulency of the meme. That's how quickly it spreads. You also got the durability of the meme, how long it stays, because that can be important. For instance, say I tell a joke from like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
So like
that's gonna stay for like 10 years.
Look, man.
Say I make a reference to the movie Avatar by James Cameron.
Look, man. Rebecca's story was very tragic and scarring.
Yeah. The thing is that it's like, it's the meta joke is that it's like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood has a lot of important moments, but this particular moment will be the one joke we'll tell for like 15 years.
Yeah.
Or sorry, 10 years.
It's crazy.
I'm like, guys, please. Look, we can only be talking about things that are canon in the series, like this, and it's just a wall of cannons.
Don't worry, kid, none of this is canon, but this is...
Don't worry, bro, none of this is canon. But this is, takes a cannon out of his pouch.
Shoots a missile. Somehow the thought fails to excite me.
Alright, let's see. We looked at the...
Hold on a minute.
Give me it then.
Who?
Give it.
No, don't you touch my controller.
Give me the controller. We're gonna look at
dare
the
you touch
car.
my
We looked at the
controller.
car, the banner, the sign, and the... Oh! The sign on the left. Try that one.
Okay,
Excuse me.
go ahead and click on that.
Hmm.
Well, I plug in my laptop before it dies, or I guess you could not. Oh, there you go. Thank you. The usual wanted posters are hanging up on the bulletin board here. Would you get in the hole? Do you know this face?
Do you know what's his face?
Do you know what's his face? He's got like a million faces. I can't remember what game he's from, but he's really weird looking.
I think it was like Filbert what's his faces.
Something
And
like
I
that.
don't know what game he's from. All I
can't
know is that
remember.
the skull is named Johnson.
Yeah. Do you know this face? If you do, dial 911.
You're right. I always thought it was kind of funny. I've never seen anyone who looked like the people on in these posters. They're hard... Wow, Emma, you gotta be like that.
Wow. She has a point.
That's just the mugshot lighting.
I don't know, man. Did we look at the car? We looked at the car.
I
I
think...
think we've looked at everything there is to look at here.
Alright,
So
go into the court record real quick. I have an idea.
Court record.
Okay, we go to... Can we go to... Letter of introduction?
Wait, hang on. I just
No.
want to see. Check real quick. Nope, he's still not in here.
Oh, that is weird. No, can we check the badger?
Oh, the badger.
Yeah, we can check that too. But can we check the badger?
Nope, doesn't look like it.
It's spooky when it's not moving.
Yeah, it's just the picture. That is weird. Why is that the only thing that we can't examine?
Why does it have a handprint on it? It looks like it's already been through a battle. This is a rejected Doctor Who villain.
I was in the War of Badgers of '92. Battle of Badgers.
Because that's the funny thing. I think it was like the Moffat era that established that it's like, hey, if you want a Doctor Who villain on short notice, just take something that would normally not be threatening and then make it threatening. Like, I don't know, statues, done. Dollhouses, done. Mannequins in store windows, done. Nothing at all, done. Darkness in general, done.
What if a weeping angel had two shadows?
That is a good question, because it's never really covered if weeping angels can be damaged.
Do you run away or do you stay still?
No, that's if... No, the two shadows things means that it's the prey of the Vashnarada or what have you.
Right.
Which means that, like, you're pretty much clear, because you just, like, walk backwards, and then maybe it'll get eaten or whatever.
The Vashtanarada.
Yeah, I'm probably mispronouncing that.
I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. Man, Vashtanarada is, like, one of the most terrifying concepts to me.
That's why.
Hey,
I
who
imagine
turned out the lights?
they'd have the like SCP containment procedures where it's like, oh yeah, you have to keep these in like, you keep these in a bookshelf, but then the area around the bookshelf is like lit with a bunch of like super bright lights to keep them from like escaping.
Yeah.
Hey, look here! Looks like something's been crossed out.
Maybe it was a letter or something to Detective Gumshoe.
Let's see, annual bonus, $20. Huh? I think a couple zeros are missing.
No, that sounds about right. At least in that detective's case.
Maybe I should rethink my career as an investigator.
I mean...
That's right. Look, $20, that's enough to get a pizza. We thought at the end of the year, with your performance, it reminds us a lot of a pizza.
Pizza shit!
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Alright, on to Bambina, dude.
This bonus, it's a real pizza.
Pizza shit!
Hmm.
Man, I love pizza. I mean, like, actual pizza.
Now, I feel like... What?
No.
I feel like I'm just kind of grasping at straws where I'm like,
She's calling the dog.
oh, what if we show, basically I'm like, oh yes, show all the evidence to everyone. So what if we show the mascot to
The Marshal?
yes, but
Or to the
yeah, we'll show it
sushi
to
lady?
the Marfel. We'll show it to Marfel.
Marfel? Is there a Marfel here?
Or I'm not the Marshal. I'm looking for the sheriff.
Looking for Sheriff Marfel?
I'm looking for the sheriff.
Looking for Marshal Marfel. So wait, he's the sheriff, but his name is Marshal. But he's not a marshal. He's a sheriff.
He's not a sheriff either. He's just a regular officer.
If he's not a marshal, he's a
He's
sheriff.
Captain Cool, and he's Colonel Cool, and he's captain of this boat.
He has a sheriff kind of shape.
Boy, so yeah, basically, what happens if we show, yeah, the sushi gal, Angel Star, the mascot? Well, you have to hit the button.
Well, I
for
wanted
us
to
see.
read the title card.
Oh, you didn't read the title card?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that's
Stop
silly.
pushing the controller button. When I'm ready to push the button, I will push the button.
Read the things.
Looks like the investigation is still going.
You don't know which voice to use this, so
I have to be getting back to the shop.
the cartoon character. Sorry, it looks like I'll be stuck in this pit till the sun sleeps. I'll see you in my dreams tonight then. Oh, it's probably, what's his name?
Oh, it's her.
Angel's, boyfriend.
Angel's boyfriend.
Well, now I feel silly giving him that cartoony voice. No, wait, yeah, it's kind of a Jessica Rabbit situation.
Yeah.
Where he's just a cartoon person.
Yeah. What if her boyfriend is actually just a male dude?
Yeah, the Officer Meekins.
Yeah, the cartoon.
But I don't think he would be working security. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Do security guards at officer stations, are they also officers, or are they like outsourced to security?
He's Captain Cool, and he's the Colonel.
I'm Colonel Meekins,
Cool.
and I'm captain of this Colonel ship.
So are you a colonel or a captain?
Neither. I'm both. Oh, still here? Hello. Why the surprised looks? Didn't I mention? ... question mark. I have a boyfriend and my boyfriend. Just James grumps it up. My boyfriend is in criminal affairs.
Well, I mean, the biggest shock of all right now is that you haven't yet thrown out a sushi roll or a bento box at us yet.
I mean, she can't afford to just throw them out like that.
Yeah, she's got jelly donuts to buy.
I've got jelly donuts to put on my head.
She's got to sell the bento boxes so she can buy the jelly donuts.
I do like that the hat is on brand.
Yeah. What happened to the security guard?
I thought that was the same person. But...
I don't know. You're lying. Oh no!
I can do it. I can read Marshall though.
I mean, either way, whichever.
Hey, what's wrong there, Bambina? You're looking like a doggy that's lost its herd.
What's a doggy? What? Are you drinking on the job? Seriously?
I have it's full of mineral water.
It's mineral water.
It's full of cactus juice. It'll quench ya.
It'll quench ya.
It's the quenchiest.
I got it from a friendly mushroom.
A friendly, mushy friend.
Jake Marshall.
I just realized that the police symbol is the one on his, like, shoulder there. The little, like, crescent.
Yeah.
I just realized that.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it before.
Strange cat applied in charge of a crab slingers. Hey, I have something to show you. It's this badger thing. Look at this badger thing.
Alright, compadre, count to 3.
Huh?
You gotta do that if you're willing to draw evidence on someone. That's what we do in Texas. Bro, you're not even from Texas! You're from Los Angeles!
Remind me never to visit
I haven't
Texas.
been this annoyed since I learned that Larry the Cable Guy is from Wisconsin.
It's also not his real voice.
It's not his real voice.
Character he plays.
It's a character he's played for so long that it's just him now. I was like, you didn't grow up in the South. You weren't like some rando, like, I don't know, dirt shoveling farming guy.
I don't care who you are. That's funny.
Is that like farmer stolen glory right there? Pretending like you discover that Larry the Cable Guy was he ever even a cable guy?
I don't think he was.
I don't think he was. I don't think he installed any cable.
Man, if Larry the Cable Guy ever comes across this video. He's like with a friend. He's like, "Hey, check this out. They're talking about me. They're talking about my character that I play."
Larry the Cable Guy calling it a code broken masquerade. They know the secret. It's out.
Oh no, they've caught on. They've learned too much.
The masquerade is broken.
The jig is up. Scatter.
Hi, just do that thing with the improv session where someone's like, "Is that Gilbert Gottfried?" And you walk in, and you're like, "Hi, I'm Gilbert Gottfried. I'm not doing the voice right now." This, that, and it's like, and look, that's Larry the Cable Guy. Hi, I'm also Larry the Cable Guy. I'm not doing the voice right now.
Y'all don't like me. Y'all only like Larry the Cable Guy. Well, pox on your Larry the Cable Guy.
And I boo Larry as his father. Have you seen that? It's oh, I don't think I've showed you that. It's like,
no,
it's not indexed well on the internet, so it's hard to find. But it's what is it? It's from the Akewood comic, and it's called like Nachos Introduced to Whales. And it's like, please, gentlemen,
it's not your business.
It's like, would you try this triangle of wheat with the spicy fruit of the chili? And they're like, no, we shun this. I boo the nacho. I boo the nacho as his father. It's like, who among you will show you that the citizens of Welsh fears not the unknown? Ah, I curse your hideous challenge. My pride as a Welshman compels me to try it. He tries it. Ah, this be good. Son, what is it? I say it to all ye. If I may walk in Gomorrah, then I walk in Gomorrah knowing where I am. For this is a brilliant food, the nacho. Something like that. It's brilliant, and it's my favorite thing. It's the only Puritan era medium that I've ever enjoyed.
That sounds awesome.
Which among you will show that no Welshman is afraid of the unknown? Curse your hideous challenge. Oh, your line.
Yeah, it is mine. Would you mind reading this for me?
What's this? I warn you, fan letters to me go right into spittoon with all the jewels.
You're not even from Texas.
I'm still digging it though. Like everyone, that's the thing. That's the funny thing though. Everyone has something that's above, like over the, what's the word? Like larger than life, and even people who don't do.
Yeah.
Because like everyone's got like their whole like thing, and this guy, he didn't have a thing, so now he has a thing.
He reminds me of a kid from high school who also was like way into westerns and cowboys. He like wore cowboy boots and a cowboy hat all the time.
Wait, we talking about the guy in high school?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
he had that like
sure. He had like
voice.
boots and a hat. Yeah, but he was like
kind of a nasally voice.
He was, I don't know, but he was really like authentic about it.
Yeah.
All I remember is that what's the word? He had this thing where he put punctuations weird. That.
Yeah, he was a cool dude.
Yeah, he was a cool dude.
Wonder what he's up to now.
It's probably writing the great American novel that he mentioned in high school.
That'd be cool.
If not, then he's doing that like right now as he watches the video. He's like, oh, that thing.
Oh, that's the thing that I was
gonna write
do with
a
my
series
life.
of like horror novels.
I have to get back to it.
I'm back. He puts the hat on, back on the trail.
He's finally down. It's a letter of introduction from Detective Gumshoe. May we investigate?
Gumshoe? Ah, that old cow dog. That old dog cow.
That old cat dog.
Well, one fine day with a wolf and a purr. Did I ever tell you the story of old cat dog? I would love to. I would love to learn the chords of that on a guitar, just so like I could be like, oh, I can play some like campfire music, and then you just do the intro to Cat Dog. It still fits. It's still like a bluesy song.
The lonely world of a little cat dog.
I know the lyrics too, but right. You holding a birthday party or something?
Huh?
Look, where it should say a letter of introduction, it says invitation.
I think he just miswrote it. Wait, why am I getting all defensive here?
No worries. This proves it's Detective Gumshoe. Better than the blood test. Why? Because he had a typo?
Yeah, I mean...
Guess I'd better let you in then. Thank you, Officer Marshall. Marshall Officer Detective.
Marshal Officer Detective...
Detective Colonel
Joe
Marshall Officer.
Detective Colonel Marshal Officer Joe Capiota. Oh, that's right. He's a patrolman.
Did you say Joe Capiota?
No, I said Joke Capiota.
Joke Capiota.
It's another gang grub spit. He was telling about.
Wait. So it's not Joke Yoda. It's Joke Capiota.
No, it's Joke Yoda. But when Aaron was first talking about it, he was like, "Hey, did I ever tell you about when Yoda retired from the Force and tried to be a comedian?" And Dan was like, "Oh, you mean like he retired from like being a Jedi and stuff? I thought you meant that he was like,
retired
a cop
from being
and,
an officer."
So he was like, "Dan, I have a joke for you," and he was like, "Okay, tell it to me, Joke Capiota."
What kind of car do I drive?
Yeah, a
Toyota. Funny joke.
Where does
Don't step on my line.
Funny joke.
Funny joke.
Where does the Jedi get all of his favorite clothing? At the Darth Maul.
At the Darth Maul.
Dude, did you see the One Punch Man animation for that bit?
No, but it sounds
It was amazing.
really good.
I'll have to show you after we're done with this.
You know, you just have this like down-to-earth, gritty story about superheroes and socioeconomics, and then suddenly, you got this, what is it, tech guy or whatever, who's like, there's an asteroid coming towards Earth. I'll have sex with it and it'll explode. And I'm like, what is this, a One Punch Man bit? How did he get up there? Please.
For anyone who doesn't know what he's talking about, that's from the Boys comic book.
Apparently that happened in the Boys comic.
It was in the Boys comic book.
It's bizarre.
It was the Tech Knight dude. He's the guy that can't stop fucking everything.
His
and his whole
powers
character
that
arc
he
with
just
him,
keeps having sex with stuff.
Yeah, and his whole character arc ends with him like flying into space and fucking an asteroid to the point of explosion.
Yeah, because you either explode an asteroid as a hero, or you die as a... No, wait, you live long enough to become the villain.
Oh my god. I'm loving the Boys comic
Now
book,
I'm just imagining that... I feel like if Tech Knight like lived or whatever, he'd listen to a lot of Ninja Sex Party.
Oh, dude.
But like in a weirdly specific, like unironic way.
Yeah.
Where he's like, yes, I destroy an asteroid with my penis, of course.
No reason boner. Yep, that's a thing I have
Yeah,
all the
definitely,
time.
all the time.
Every day, every minute of my life.
It does baffle scientists.
No scientist I've talked to has been able to figure it out.
That's not how asteroids work. Right in the asteroid.
Oh, that's right. He's a patrol. Oh, I read that already. Which reminds me.
Hey, wait a sec. Isn't a crime scene supposed to be handled by a detective or higher? You know, like someone competent. Well, folks.
Oh no.
The clues are calling. Welcome. Oh, hold on. I can hear the music in the background.
Yeah.
Welcome to our Gold Strike. Be like the settler. Strike out for lands unknown. Manifest. I don't know what that phrase means. Let's have a hootenanny. Another word that I had just learned about. Fun fact. Bamboozle is one of those words that doesn't seem to have a concrete origin.
Huh.
Like some words have like origins that it's like, oh, in English it goes to like French, which goes to like Old German, which goes to like Latin or something.
Right.
But some words like bamboozle are just like it's like, oh yeah, we have a few like records in maybe the like mid 1800s of someone saying it in like a news article, but we don't know if anyone actually, we don't know how often it was actually said or where it came from. And I'm like, the word has bamboozled you.
Oh man, that's crazy. Oh, it's so meta.
Yeah.
It's your line.
Note to self: police investigations are like settling land.
No, they're not.
I'd hope not. That means you just like show up and then like you'd end up killing all the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say?
I'd say you need to go to college, to like law school, like learn that this is not like settling land.
Did I ever say that I have a lot of dreams about being in high school?
I think you have mentioned it before.
And I'm glad that my brain's gotten more creative, where instead of being the high school that I went, it'll just be a fictional, random high school each time.
Yeah.
So it stays interesting, because it'll be like, oh, the gym is really, like, gigantic, or here's the hallway and it's different or something. But, like, most of them end up with me going, I went to high school, like, almost a decade ago. And like my most recent dream, I was like, oh wait, I went to high school, and then it went to the next sequence of the dream, which was me going like, should I go to college?
Right.
I don't have degrees in anything.
Yeah. I say I won't be needing this anymore. Detective Gumshoe's letter of introduction crumpled and discarded. Alright, and with that, I think we should call it a night.
You know, it'd be amazing
Still thinking about
if you asked for a student loan, but then negotiated out of it by being like, hey, guys, you know that, like, if Bernie's elected, we'll just, like, abolish student debt, so why not just let me go to school now?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, nah.
Yeah.
But, anyways, yeah, we're
Bernie
wrapping up
Sanders.
here. I look forward to looking at more, I like the little evidence rotatey thing.
Yeah. Still
Well, we still don't know what's behind the little dancing badger thing.
we're gonna find out next time.
You know,
Maybe.
when you think about Gumshoe is multi-talented, because he made that little rotatey thing. He had to go out and get the little servos and the battery. And what's funny is that, like, I know how that is, because that's how, like, my older brother was when, like, we were kids. He was like figuring out, oh wait, you can just make robot stuff, like simple robotics. You just need like to go to the hardware store and get the servos and the right batteries and just plug it in. Now it works.
Right.
But like the hard thing is making it more complex. And that's the funny thing. It's just this grown man who's just gotten into that, where he's like, oh yeah, I don't know, I didn't figure out how to make the switch work. I just plugged it straight in, so that's why it just turns on when you plug it in.
Right.
And it runs on a battery, so basically you gotta take the battery out to turn it off.
Yeah.
Let's get a bunch of like exposed wires.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for joining us on this lovely evening. I've been Taylor.
I've been Lou Jack.
And I hope you don't have to blow up an asteroid with your genitalia.
Me too.
So remember,
But if you survive it,
write a
go
book
and-
about it.
Yeah, and listen to Ninja Sex Party.
Yeah, that would be
I
really
mean,
on
do that
brand.
anyway, but like, then you can do it unironically.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, after surviving re-entry, you just land in Intensity City.
Yeah.
Or what was it called? Land of Intensity. It's
Well-
where everything is super serious and cool.
Is that a thing?
I'll have to look
Was
it
that
up.
an NSP song?
I might be mixing the NSP song, which is like a city like that, and the Old Spice commercial where everyone is really muscular. Which honestly, I just figured were the same place. It's just the same genius loci,
Shared universe.
shared universe. I could believe that.
Yeah, I'd buy it.
So, thank you so much for joining. Take care.
Stay awesome.
Have a beautiful day.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.